Hello, fellow authors and writers. Guess what? You have another 200 words to write. I know. You just finished writing 60, 80, 100,000 words. You just finished your novel or book, and now I'm telling you have to write 200 more. But the truth is that those 200 words that you still need to write, the book description, is really important. It is how you are going to tell the public what your book or story is about, and it is one of the key things that can compel your readers to open your book to want to read it. So first, let's talk about nonfiction and fiction book blurbs because they're really very different and they need to be treated differently. The nonfiction book blurb is really about the destination. The reader wants to know, where is this book taking them? What are they going to learn and how are they going to get there, kind of thing. With the fiction book blurb, it's very different. The reader wants to be taken on a journey. They do not want to know where it ends. They want to figure that out. They want this adventure of discovering. They want the mystery. So they need to be approached and written very differently. The second thing, when should you write your book blurb? To be honest, whether you're writing fiction or nonfiction, you need to write your book blurb as you're writing your novel. So really start now. No matter where you're at in writing your book, start now. But the truth is if you start writing your book blurb when you start writing your book, you're going to be able to grab more key information and write it in a way that is really going to grab attention. Because when you're in the midst of writing it, you're really involved and into the story and into the message, into the book. So you know what's going on and you know all the feelings that it brings up. And that's what you need to bring across to your readers. Now, today in particular, I'm really talking about the fiction book blurb because with it, it is really important that you are able to connect to the reader and that you bring your story to life for the reader. Okay, so point number 3 is the tone. You need to make sure that the tone of your fiction book blurb matches that of your story. And I know that kind of makes sense, but really it can be hard to do because writing those 200 words, you're caught up in trying to, okay, what do I need to put in? How do I put it in? How do I grab attention? You know, what's got to be there? And we often forget about the tone. And it is really, really important. So if your story is funny, that needs to come through in your book blurb. If your story is a horror, then your fiction book blurb needs to convey that it's a horror. Okay? So you need to be really clear on that. Tip number 4, relevant and relatable. You really want your story relevant and relatable. What do I mean by that? So your story, with your fiction book blurb, your information that you put in the fiction book blurb needs to be relevant. So it needs to be relevant to the story. So it needs to be all of those key events, key things that are going on within your story. And this is where tone becomes really important because you need to have a good sense of who your reader is. So for example, if you are writing, let's say your story is a romance, then you need to make sure that it's clearly a romance that they're going to be reading. But if your story is an erotica, then that is very different, that the language that you're going to use and how you're going to word it. Because again, you want to be really clear to the reader what type of story this is that they're getting into, okay? So this is where tone is really important, and this is where making sure that you have the relevant information from your story. And relatable. It needs to be things that the reader is going to relate to. So it's what kind of things are they looking for? And this is where, again, you're really connecting the reader to your story. And so name your protagonist. Talk about the struggles that your protagonist is going through. Give the information that readers will get. You know, they want the highs and lows. They want to know where someone's at, where they want to be, kind of thing. Okay? And this takes me straight into the format that you really want to use for your fiction book blurb. Setup, capture, intrigue. Really grabs the reader's attention when used correctly. So setup is really, what is the underlying theme, problem that your protagonist, your main character, is going through, okay? Capture. Now this is really the heart of your story. So what is going on for your protagonist? What are the hurdles they're up against? What is the main conflict? What is their past? What is, their present? What is their future? Where are they at? Where are they hoping to be at? What kind of changes are they trying to make in their life? So really you want to stress the yin and yang of their life. What are the opposites going on? Okay. And the final part is intrigue. This is where you really want to use the climax and ending of your story to grab the reader's attention. This is where you hint at what's going on and suggest that, oh, can they do this? Or, time's running out. You want to make either a statement or ask questions that is really going to pull the reader in and leave the reader with questions. You want them to walk away from your book blurb going, geez, I wonder what's going to happen. Like, how is he going to do that? And, what if he doesn't succeed? What if she doesn't, make it? Kind of thing. So your fiction book blurb is 200 words, but extremely important words. They need to be concise, they need to be active, and they need to tell their own story about what's within your, 80, 100,000 word story. So writing the fiction book blurb, I know, can be daunting and frustrating. I used to just hate it, disliked it to no end. But I've discovered a much simpler way to writing it, and it has totally changed. I absolutely love writing the fiction book blurb now. It takes me less than 30 minutes, and I absolutely want to teach that to you. So if you haven't already, please go to my website, www.glennamaggio.com, and grab your 10-question cheat sheet that'll help you with writing your compelling fiction book blurb. My name is Glenn Maggio. I'm an award-winning author, writer, speaker, and creator of Mastering the Art of Writing the Catchy Fiction Book Blurb. To your writing success.